Hello there, folks. I hope you and your loved ones are safe and well. Episode 3, here we go. And it happens to be with the most inspirational athlete I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. Two-time World Cup champion Ali Krieger. Someone who's had her fair share of setbacks, yet continues to show us what a winner looks like. Breaking her leg, tearing her ACL, blood clots that nearly cost her her life, being exiled from the national team for 2 years with no reason why at all, or living her truth now, finding pure happiness with teammate and wife Ashlyn Harris. It's time to welcome in the legend, and I promise you will be inspired. Ali Krieger, what an absolute honor it is. Great to see you, my friend. How are you?
Hi, good to see you. I'm doing so well. Just hanging out at home in quarantine, doing the most.
As we do.
Yeah, no, things are great.
Hey, congratulations, by the way. It's still inside a year of getting married, so technically you're still a newlywed. Yourself and Ashlyn getting married in Miami last December. And I guess when you got married, unbelievable wedding, by the way. I've seen the video. Looked absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
Little did you expect to be spending this much time together. I know you're teammates in the national team and with the Pride, but you're kind of stuck together now.
I know. It's actually kind of funny because we're actually never home. So that side of things has been so nice because we've been home and we're able to hang out with our dogs and have some type of a schedule at home. So that's been really nice and kind of get things done at home that we haven't been able to do for a while, that have always been on the back burner because of training and then, tournaments here. And so right after the wedding, we actually went right into training camp, preparing for the Olympic qualifiers. So that in itself, we were together for 2.5, 3 months with the national team, really preparing for, that final against Canada. So it's just been, focused on that. And then, having to go home right after that tournament and right into quarantine together. It's been quite a lot of time, but we've really enjoyed actually being home and taking a second to breathe.
So you're getting the house set up, you're renovating, like you said, and are you binging at all? What are you watching these days?
We are. We've been watching a lot of surf films. We've been watching, we finished up Killing Eve.
It's great, isn't it?
Finished up.
How good is Killing Eve?
It's so good. I love it so much. We got into Dr. Foster, which I absolutely love. A lot of Netflix, and we've been trying to catch up on a lot of movies that we wanted to see together for a while. So a lot of Netflix and chill, that's for sure.
Yeah, Meg and I absolutely love Killing Eve. If you haven't seen it, folks, go and watch it.
It's so good.
One of the best characters I've ever, both of them, both main characters.
Yeah, they're both phenomenal.
Villanelle and Eve. Yeah. Hey, I wanted to talk to you today about, obviously your tremendous career, but some things that you had to face to get to where you are today, which I think are just next level winning traits that I think anybody listening or watching this will take inspiration from. And I wanted to ask you, going back to your earlier days, did your parents ever say anything to you about when you were a child? What kind of kid were you? Were you that fighter from an early age, or have you learned over the years?
Yeah, I actually was. My parents were actually both super athletic, growing up in their own lives and then coming together sort of as this athletic couple. They played sports in college, and my dad played professionally, soccer. So my mom was more into basketball. They were both physical education teachers. So I really feel growing up, I had this active lifestyle right from the start. And both of my parents were super hardworking and really determined to succeed in whatever they were doing. So I felt I kind of, they instilled that in me at a young age. And also I grew up with an older brother. Well, we're only 13 months apart, but he was so good at sports growing up. So I always wanted to challenge him because I was so competitive. I wanted to beat him at everything he was playing. So we would always just play out in the front yard, in the backyard, and with our neighborhood friends. So I think right from the beginning, I was really, determined and driven to succeed. And I really grew to love sports in general.
So you go and you play collegiately with Penn State. And during that time, a baller in college, and you break your leg. It was devastating, and it turns into much more than a broken leg. Blood clots several months later. Ali, this was frightening, learning about this. And I've seen interviews since, and you still kind of get emotional, don't you, thinking about it and what could have been?
Yeah, it was actually super emotional because that was the year we were ranked number one in the nation, and we were going to the Final Four. It was actually the first game. It was 3 days before the first game of the NCAA tournament. That Friday night, I think we were playing Bucknell for the first round, and it was so. It was really difficult because we had gotten that far and we were ranked number one, and then I just wanted to help the team get even further, and they did very well without me. So I was happy about that. And I was kind of more of a vocal leader on the sideline than a physical leader on the field. So it kind of changed my perspective a lot. I really had a tough time through that, watching, the team play the sport that I absolutely loved and not be able to help them physically on the field. We actually lost to Megan Rapinoe's team against Portland in the semifinal that year, but we got to the Final Four and we did really well. And but yeah, I went through and fought through that adversity, and it ended up leading to my pulmonary embolism that I had from the surgery, and from flights that I had taken for Christmas and my mom's wedding that year. And then also I was on some medication. That was kind of a perfect storm for the pulmonary embolism to happen. So I had to then fight through that coming back and thinking, I may never be able to play again. So fighting through that adversity and kind of changing my perspective on things and just taking one day at a time and focusing on what I could control, is how I live my life now, obviously, and have been throughout my career. But it was a life-changing moment where I knew I really wanted to continue to play, and I really wanted to continue to play at the highest level. And I was going to do everything I could in my power at that moment to get back out on the field, to be able to just walk again, and then jog, and then run, and then go into preseason that next year. So it was a tough year for me at a young age, but thankfully with the great people at my school at Penn State, my teammates there, I really got through that tough time.
How dark was it though when the doctor said to you that you may not have woken up if you went to bed another night without going into the hospital? That's pretty frightening, obviously.
It was really frightening. And, the guy I was dating at the time had come over to see me after that Christmas break, and that was the only reason I went to the hospital. I would have fallen asleep if he didn't. Wow. And now he's he's a doctor, but or surgeon, but besides the point, he was in med school at the time, so he knew something wasn't right. And so I'm grateful that he was actually there to kind of push me to make that step to go to the hospital, because I definitely wouldn't have. And they said, if you would have fallen asleep, I guarantee you wouldn't have woken up. And so that was definitely a shock to me. But luckily everything worked out and I'm alive, and kind of sitting in that hospital for that week really changed my perspective on a lot of things and how I view my career, and how grateful I am to just be alive.
You've since obviously gone on a crazy journey, both on and off the pitch, and you deal with adversity maybe in a different way now. Back then, how did you deal with it? The recovery process, the learning of how fatal that could have been. How did you manage?
I really I set these goals for myself and didn't set goals that were, unreachable. I feel like you have short-term goals and you have long-term goals. And I really set these short-term goals, which was even just a day goal of getting up to the facility, going to my prehab or, my trainer, and going through that process of just doing my recovery and all the proper things that I needed to do that day, and just kind of achieve those small steps in order to then that week or that month achieve a bigger step. So I tried to just control those day by day. And I really feel mentally that helped me, because it felt like a win. Every day I would achieve a goal, and then I would say, wow, I'm a step forward, and not try and strive for the end goal, which was be back, playing full 90 minutes. It was, so I really tried to make that my focus and set those small goals for myself and really make them attainable. And I think that is really what kept me on track. And then obviously staying at school throughout the summer, they had me on a really good program. I was around great people. I was around all my trainers, my coaches. So I could work out through the summer. I worked camps and things like that just to keep my mind in the game and mentally preparing for, the next preseason, which was my senior year. So it was a really healthy experience for me after that. And they wanted to also keep me there to watch over me and, all that good stuff. So it ended up being great. And I was just motivated by the people around me who were pushing me to get back to where I wanted to be.
Isn't it crazy when you focus on small steps rather than looking too far ahead? You look too far ahead at that point in time, you think you're done. forget about it. How am I ever going to recover from this situation? And yes,
Exactly.
taking it day by day was the key.
Yeah, totally. 100%. It was really crucial that I did that, because more so for my mental state.
Yeah.
Physically, I knew I could go out there and run all day, but mentally, emotionally, I had to really like set those small steps.
You moved to Frankfurt after that, tremendous success.
Mm-hmm.
That was a completely different time for anyone young coming through now. And you've got so many young, talented players coming through on the national team and playing in NWSL as well. Just explain to everyone what a different landscape it was, US domestic soccer for women back then.
I mean, it was very different. At first, like I remember first signing with Frankfurt after we went to Vasa, Finland with the U23 national team, and we won that tournament. It was the Nordic Cup tournament. And I was on the U23 team, and then a couple coaches had seen me there. So that was kind of how that whole process began, of me thinking about playing in Europe. And I didn't even realize at the time, I was just so naive to the fact and ignorant to the fact that there were, other leagues in the world, because we didn't see a lot of these leagues played on TV. Like nowadays you can kind of catch the games online, and which is really nice to see, in England and Spain and Germany, obviously, and Sweden. You have all these, in France, you have all these great leagues, and even in Italy now. So it's really refreshing to see that. But at that time, I had no idea. So then I get this call about going for a tryout. So I just kind of packed my stuff, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'd rather do that than play with my, guy friends from high school pickup every Tuesday, Thursday night. That's really not going to get me to where I want to be.
It's mind-boggling that was even the option.
Yeah, because we didn't have anything else at the time. So I was just like, well, yeah, of course, I'd love to go do that. So I show up, and there's like Birgit Prince, Nia Kunza, Renata Lingor, Silke Rottenberg, Steffi Jones, like Connie Pohl. There were all these amazing players, Sandra Smizek, like all these German national team players on Frankfurt, and I had no idea. So I show up, and I'm like, oh my God, am I like, this is insane. Like, can I train with you guys? Like, is this for real? So I show up and I make the team, and they say, hey, we would love for you to sign for 2 years. And I said, great, let's do it. I have nothing else to do. I'd love to stay. And there was another American trying out at the time, Gina Lewandowski, who now plays for Sky Blue FC. And she's in the tournament now in Utah. But anyway, besides the point, we made it together, and we were really close friends. And so that was kind of nice to have her around as well. But it was very successful. My first year, we won the treble. And I was playing with Birgit Prince and Steffi Jones. I was just like, this is amazing. I learned so much. I had this American style that mixed with this now European style, and I kind of made it my own. I got very technical and tactical, and I think that just made me a much better player, and it helped me make the national team.
You are a student of the game too. I know you are. You study all sorts of different leagues. Was that the start of it, do you think, being over in Germany?
Absolutely. It opened my eyes to so many things. I was just like, wow, there's Champions League. There's, a German Pokal. Like there's, we're called the Bundesliga. Like this is unreal. It's just like the men, this is awesome. And you have those same experiences. And we had the German Cup in one place in Cologne. And then we played in the famous Olympics Stadion. It's called the Olympic Stadium, where we played before Bayern and Dortmund that one year in 2008, and we won against, I think, FC Saarbrücken. Anyway, besides the point, it was just like, it was so surreal playing in these beautiful stadiums. And it was just like, I can't believe I'm playing in the European football. Yeah. And it's just something I had no idea about. So it really opened my football horizons and eyes to a whole new world of the game. And that I really started to study it more and really learned so much. And then, among other things, the culture, the people, the language. It was great. The food, more importantly, the bratwurst, and it was awesome.
I love it. So, you tremendous time there. You come back to NWSL on the national team front. You had an excellent World Cup in 11, 15. You win it. Incredible scenes. 17 comes along. And this is where I really want to focus. And I hate to do this in a way because it's a negative that you absolutely twisted into a positive, which I think is such a lesson for all of us. Inexplicably omitted, cut, fired, you could say, because your income comes from the national team, the majority of it. Right. So you don't know why. Left off the squad by Jill Ellis. what did you do? Because the majority of people in that instance would say, forget the game. Do you know what? I'm already in my 30s. This is unbelievable. Why am I being left off? I was in the form of my life on the domestic front. And you did what?
I took it upon myself to honestly sit and think about what I really wanted to do, and that was to be in the 2019 World Cup. And I said, I'm not going to allow one person or one coach's opinion about me make me feel that I don't deserve to be there, that I'm not good enough to be there or be on this team. Not every coach is going to like you, and that's kind of where I sat with myself and I said, listen, I maybe need to change my attitude. I maybe need to change this or that, or adjust it a little bit, or I need to kind of tidy up a few things that maybe need to be better, or obviously do need to be better from, what the actions are of the coaching staff that, they just don't want me on the team right now. So I need to work on a few things, and I need to sit back and really, think about what I want. And I knew I wanted to be there, and I knew I deserved to be there, and I knew I was still good enough to be there. So that was the first step. The next thing is, I had multiple conversations with Ash about it. And then I actually talked to Megan Rapinoe. We were on vacation that year. And I said, listen, as one of my closest friends and someone who I admire and really respect and who I know will be honest with me, do you think that I should hang up my boots? Do you think that I can't make the squad? Do you think this is it for me? And she said, absolutely not. Don't do it. Keep them on, keep training. I just had, we kind of just had this feeling that if I got, my toe into that door, that it would be the end, it would be no looking back, and it would be kind of a fresh start. Well, I worked my butt off that year. I said, listen, I'm now just going to focus on the pride and focus on my NWSL appearances and make sure that I'm consistent, I'm confident, and I'm, the Allie that I know I can be. And I had one of the best, NWSL seasons of my career. And I still didn't get called in. I still really didn't have any conversations with her. And I was seeing these other players kind of get called up and really try out basically in that position. And I just felt like no one was really better than me at that time. So I was just continuing to focus on myself, really. And I just said, listen, I'm going to tidy up things I need to tidy up on, and maybe my actions will speak louder than the words. And hopefully I'll get the call, coming up in 2018, 2019, whenever, but I'm going to stay focused. I was then allowed to do other things that I hadn't been able to do, like the coaching course and, AKFC with my camps and clinics. So I think.
Well, hey, hang on. You're not going to going on set with me as one of those highest goals that you set for yourself.
I went on the set with you and talked about the U.S. men's national team at the time, which was really, really fun.
It was fun, but it must have been really frustrating also.
Yeah, the time, but I don't know. I just felt like I was finally able to do other things, and then I think that added into my positive mental state in order to then, focus on what I really wanted to focus on was football. And so I kind of had to step away a little bit and find the love of the game again in order to then train to make it back.
Hey, can I go back a sec on that? Because how hard is it to self-analyze when it's so easy to become bitter? How often do we all find situations in our life where someone may not like us, someone may doubt us, someone may speak poorly of us, and we instantly don't reflect on our own performance or our own attitude. Right. And there must have been a time for you when you were simply bitter or frustrated or angry. And at that point, I suppose, unless you're just uber strong, you rely on people within your life, people in your close circle to talk to. And that's what I admire most about this situation, is the fact that you came out of it with such a positive attitude and you won back your place. We'll get to that in a moment, but that self-reflection, was that hard to find at the start?
Yeah, great question. It was hard to find, because then in the moment you think like you're doing nothing wrong and you're doing everything right and you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. And so you kind of maybe project on others rather than actually take a look in the mirror and feel accountable or take accountability and kind of sit back and reevaluate your actions and, what you're saying and how you're treating your teammates. I probably wasn't the nicest person at the time, because I was personally going through a time where I didn't really understand why I wasn't playing or why I wasn't in the squad or this or that. And I didn't really have those answers from the leadership and the coaching staff. So that was really tough. And I feel like I turned into a person that I wasn't normally, or should be on the team, and in that atmosphere and environment. I wasn't, I was like, you know what, I'm here to take your spot. It wasn't like trying to be encouraging and supportive of my teammates. It's like, no, I need to battle you in order to like earn a spot in the squad.
So what changed
So
then?
I think I, when I didn't get called in again, I needed to like reevaluate how I was, talking not only to myself, but to my teammates and to the people around me and about the situation, and not focus so much on everyone else, but focus on me. And I kind of, sat back and just started to do other things that I really had wanted to do for a while, talk to different types of people and mentors that I had in my life, and got really good advice from my family, my friends, and tried to just look in a more positive direction. And that really helped grow, I think, me personally in the direction of, why I love the game so much and how much effort I actually wanted to put into getting back to where I wanted to be.
Crazy. I think back to even my own life and much smaller examples than that, obviously. And my wife at one point, I wasn't getting an opportunity that I thought I deserved. And my wife said, are you going to go through him? Are you going to go around him? Or what are you going to do? Are you going to let him beat you? And that was simply one of those moments where I sit back and think, she's right. Like, I can't just sit here and sulk. Like, what are you going to do about it? And were you able to train your mind? Maybe it's waking up and doing yoga or meditation. What was it that you decided at that moment on a daily basis you're going to commit to in order to reframe?
It was then the off season. So then I called one of my coaches, my defensive coach, Seb Hines, who you probably know, he played for Orlando City, and also in England. So, he's now one of our coaches and mainly the defensive coach, but I called him and he actually started training me. And I said, listen, can we go out like 3 or 4 times a week or every day if you have time? I mean, he has kids as well. So I was a little bit, I was aware of his time, and so I didn't want to abuse it. But he would wake up and we'd go out at 8, 9. We just started training. And he just like set up exercises for me, and we went through it. And then, of course, our Orlando Pride sports performance trainer, Evie, was always available. And Dawn Scott at the time, I would, talk to her every once in a while. She was with the national team, but she would like keep an eye on me and make sure I was doing okay, which I really appreciated. Because she was our sports performance trainer with the national team for 9 years. So I was with her for that long. And so it was nice that she was able to kind of check in and like make sure I was doing certain things that I should be doing. And any questions I had, I would reach out to her, but I would wake up and just have a routine. And I think that's what was really important for me. Have a routine, go train, get better, focus on that, and then just prepare myself mentally for the Orlando Pride season, because that's the only thing that was really what I could control. In the meantime, do work on the side for AKFC and do work on the side for my C course, and make sure I'm completing that and just getting different, just different football minds and ideas from other people.
You're bettering yourself.
Really, just basically learning about the game more and watching a lot of football. I love to watch it. So I would watch games and I would analyze the U.S. women's national team games when I wasn't there. And I would chart games and stuff and passes and things like that. So I just tried to stay busy, but kept myself in a good routine and always made sure I was training every day.
I remember in 2017 when we worked together on the US men's national team game, I was in touch with you. I think it was like a week before we were on air together. And I just reached out to say, hey, looking forward to working with you again.
Yeah.
If you need anything, let me know. And you said to me, hey, how about we catch up this weekend after this specific game? And I remember thinking, I don't even know what's on at the weekend. And there's Ali like focusing on this one game that's on Saturday afternoon, and we're going to speak after that. So that was really cool. You didn't expect the phone call, did you? Or the text from Jill Ellis that then followed, and your teammates. I know you've been through this before, but I really want to hone in here on your reaction, because this to me, again, is the sign of an ultimate winner. You get a phone call and a text off someone that had admitted you for 2 years, that had cut your salary for 2 years. Yeah. You say, no problem, I'm back in. And you go back in. Jill Ellis offered to have a chat with you then, finally, to explain why you were omitted. What was your response?
She had called me in between our sessions during preseason, with Orlando Pride and called me in between sessions. And so I had told her, I just need to call you back after the second session, and just to be, because I knew this call was a bit, the timing was a bit weird.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just knew something was going to be said, and I wanted to make sure I was like mentally focused for that. So during that conversation, and when I called her back after training, I let her speak, and she said some things and had kind of talked about the previous 2 years, kind of like quickly said some things about it. And I said, listen, Joe, like, honestly, I'm in such a better place. I'm in a more positive space now. I need to just continue to move forward. I don't really want to talk about that now and like rehash all of that, and like the mental part of that and the emotional part of that, I would just rather like to just continue to move forward. Like, I am here for you. I'm here for the team, and I will do anything that you need in order for the team to be successful. So like, I'm into it, and like, tell me what you need from me and I'm there. You know, it was like as
You're a better
simple as
person
that.
than me, Ali. You're a way better person than I am, because I think I'd have to know. And you're absolutely right to think that way, because then you'd end up probably going down a rabbit hole you didn't want to go down.
Yeah. Or you just say, you know what, like, I don't know, I just felt like I was in such a better place, and I've moved forward, that I didn't want to take those steps back and be petty and hash this out, that I think we both had grown in that 2-year period. Maybe me more so than her, but I think it was, you got to take the higher road for sure.
You get it, but you get back in. Obviously, Ashlyn
Yeah.
and your teammates at Orlando are buzzing at the time, especially the national teamers.
I know.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just remember like Alex and Ash wondering like what she was like, why she called or why she texted, or you know, and then they were like so excited. I said, you guys, I haven't even talked to her yet, and they were both like, yeah, but it's got to be it. It's got to be it. You know.
Do they know?
And that to me was really great to have that feeling that they even wanted me there. So
but they needed you there. It's not like they want. You're Ali Krieger, you know, like you're one of the best to ever play the game in that position. So they needed you. You get back in, you play and this is the other major point here for anyone listening that didn't know. You were cut at 98 caps. You get back in, you play 99, you play 100 finally, and you had a chance to give a speech to the team. Do you mind me asking what was said? How emotional was that?
I started crying. It was in the locker room, and it was without the staff, because I just needed to say a few things that was really like in my heart, and over the past 2 years that I hadn't been able to say to the team. And it was emotional. And then I had thanked Ash in front of everyone, and then thanked, you know, all of my teammates who had reached out to me over those 2 years, who kept pushing me to want to get back. Like a lot of my teammates had reached out over those 2 years and said, listen, Ali, you could still be here. Like, we miss you. We hope you're doing well. Like, if you need anything, let us know, but like, you can still get back here. Like, you know, just encouragement and motivation and support. And it was just kind of thanking them for always being there for me and pushing me and wanting me to be there. And I don't know. And then I said, you know, some things, maybe some harsh things about, you know, the special someone. And everyone was just kind of laughing. And we just had like a really intimate moment there together that I think everybody could feel, because a lot of my teammates were crying. And it was emotional, because I think they all, at some point in their career with her, had felt similar feelings and emotional feelings. And so it kind of brought us closer together
100%.
In that moment, because we all kind of go through these tough, stressful times in that environment that you can't really explain to anybody how mentally draining it could be.
Yeah. And you win 2 World Cups, you think someone's a mastermind, but the group came together. Correct?
Yeah.
Like, this was a major unit, both on and off the pitch as well. How was it asking the staff to leave? How did you go about doing that? Can I have a word with the guys alone, please?
I mean, yeah, it was just kind of like we always have this time in the locker room after the games to kind of talk about our feelings about how we played, what we think we can improve on, just to kind of like leave the game there and move forward. So we always do that after games together, privately. So it was after that that we did that, or I think it was maybe before that. So
I picture Jill
anyway.
Ellis with one of those plastic cups up against the door like
I
this.
know, maybe she did. I don't know.
Oh, so you go, you play in the World Cup, and you not only play, you win it. Ali, you get on in the final game. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
You had featured before that, but the final, you come in.
Yeah.
And the final whistle goes, who's on the ball? Only you. And that for me just wrapped up. This has to be an ESPN 30 for 30 at some point, because it wrapped up such a phenomenal journey to fight your way back through adversity, whether it's your broken leg, your blood clots, your ACL, your 2 MCLs, your disappointment with being cut, everything. And for that final whistle to go and for you to be on the ball was just one of those moments where I think it brought a tear to so many fans watching, because they knew what you had been through. How was that moment for you when that whistle went? What do you remember about it?
Honestly, I remember just like keep sprinting forward. I mean, I remember my brother I couldn't hear him, but in a video he was like, shoot it, in the very end. But I just remember, because we talk about game management, right? So towards the end of the game, you just have to keep the ball. So I was just thinking, okay, if I got to just get forward and I got to take space and I got to maybe go to the corner or towards that area to just keep it. And we always we do work on those moments in the game where you have to manage it, and you have to, if you're winning, you just have to keep combining and up the field in the opponent's half. And so I was just making my way down there, and I literally wasn't thinking anything other than please blow the whistle soon, please blow the whistle soon. And just trying to keep possession of the ball. That was my main focus. And then, I was so happy, and it was this feeling of such joy, and love for the game. And I, had been through all of that, and it came to that ending, and it was just like a fairy tale type ending for me. And personally, I was just so excited and thrilled, and I couldn't have been happier in that moment.
Oh, and everyone's so proud of you and everything you had done to get back to where you were. What makes this national team so special? Because when I think about your national team, I don't see you guys as soccer players as much as I see you as human beings that do incredible things both on and off the field.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. It's really inspiring. Every day I'm so inspired for, just for everything that these powerful women are doing. We get to show up every day, and I'm surrounded by such beautiful, badass females who are so good at what they do. And we inspire each other to want to continue to get better, not only on the field, but off the field, just in issues that we really believe in, that we want to fight for, and that we are so united, and when we are together. And so I feel like we can really create change. First, by not staying just in our lane in playing soccer, but just everyone changing lanes and being able to really fight for those causes that you believe in. And I think that's what makes us so attractive to people, and then to fans and supporters, because you can look at our team and you can find someone on our team that you can relate to in some way, shape, or form. And I think that's what's so exciting about our team, and that's what's so refreshing about our team. And then everyone that joins our team, you have to be mentally strong enough and physically capable, but also have that mentality of just wanting to be better and wanting to inspire people in general, not just our team, but inspire other individuals to just want to be successful and want to believe in certain things that we want to fight for. So I think that is what's so great about this team, and what's so powerful about this team, what's so sacred about this team is we really support each other in fighting for those issues that we really believe in individually.
So well said. And look, within the game, I see the likes of the Irish team standing up to the Federation now. And I think that it goes well beyond the United States of America. I think it goes well beyond the game. There's an author of a best-selling, New York Times best-selling book here in Atlanta called Kate Parker, and she's got a book called Play Like a Girl. And I love to see that. And I want to have her on the show here at some point too, to talk about that, because
it's incredible.
It's just so much fun to see everything that you guys have done and to better our society that we live in. So again, thank you for all you continue to do on that front as well. One final thing for me on the soccer side before I ask you an all important question about your career, but coaching side, what for you are, maybe if you were to give me 2 or 3 traits that you see in a coach? Because I have a feeling that you would be a phenomenal coach one day if you
Thank you.
decide to go that way. What for you are the most important traits?
I think one of the most important traits is having respect for your players. And also, I think understanding how to get the best out of them, because we are all different and we all kind of understand information differently, and we, obviously retain information differently, and then we perform differently depending on how we're treated. So I feel like you have to really understand the personalities of your players and how to get the best out of each and every one of them. And just the respect thing, I feel like, is huge, because I feel like when we're at the highest level, these players, and we are just the best at our craft, and we're so professional and we're so willing to give everything to win, that that you should expect nothing less than that. And so I feel like there's a respect thing, and then just understanding how to get the best out of your players is really important, because we all are different and we have different personalities, and some of us, don't mind getting yelled at, and some of us, don't really play well if we're getting shouted at. And so I think having just an understanding of how to treat your players and managing them properly.
Beautiful. It's crazy when players are happy, how they can play
Yeah.
well as well.
Yeah.
Question for you, Ali. This one is a tough one, because you've
Mhm.
played overseas, you've played for the national team since 2008, and you've played domestically. You're picking an Ali Krieger 7-a-side team with only teammates. It's not easy. You're included in this team. Talk to me. From goal all the way up front, who do you have?
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'd probably get yelled at if I didn't have Ash in goal. No. I definitely want Ash in goal. So I would start with Ash, and then obviously me. I don't know if I'd have other defenders, because I love attacking players so much, and it was, I think this is going to be a tough choice. But then I'd have Lauren Chaney in center mid, or Lauren Holiday now. I'd have Megan Rapinoe on the left, Heather O'Reilly on the right. I'd have Marta as like a 10. I'd have to fit Kirsten Garafrakis in there somewhere. I played with her at FFC Frankfurt, and she's obviously phenomenal. She was on the German national team forever. And then Birgit Prince up top in the 9. So I'd have to figure out Kirsten where she would be, but I would need obviously a little help, because we know Megan doesn't like to defend too often.
Yeah.
So Chaney'd have to drop down a little bit, and
Heather O'Reilly come back and give us a bit of help.
Yeah, I'd have to figure that out. I might rethink my defense there, but
yeah, exactly. Considering you're the one playing there and your wife is the one in goal, I'm sure Ash is going to look at you and go, "Hang on, what are you doing?" Although, to be fair, no other team's going to get a touch of the ball if you've got all those players.
No. I mean, our attack is going to be amazing, so maybe we won't have to defend so much.
Yeah. Ali Krieger, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time to join me here on Kicking Off. You are living your truth. You always say that now. You're happily married to Ashlyn Harris. You're an inspiration for everything you continue to fight for. And the story of your battle to get back and to win a World Cup for a second time in 2019 genuinely is incredibly moving. So thank you for all you've done for the game and society. And thank you for joining me today. It means
thank you. God, this was so much fun. I'm honored to be a part of your show, and this is like amazing for me. So thanks for inviting me, and it's so good to see you, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thanks, Ali. Take care.
You too.
A gem of a human and a warrior of a player. Actually reminded me of a quote from Rocky. It ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Certainly applies here with the story of Ali Krieger. There are certain days and moments, I'm sure, for all of us right now that we find the day tough to face. As Ali says, one step at a time. Really enjoyed that conversation. Ali, I have so much respect for you, and thank you so much for joining me here on the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if so, please share with friends. Rate, review, subscribe. Do your part to keep these going if you can. Looking forward to next week's guest already. So you take care, and we'll chat to you then. All the best.